Hi, I'm Katherine Hanson. We're back with our weekly session of the Empowered Women's Circle. So happy to have you with us. So we are here to strengthen your body, elevate your mind, and nurture your soul. We are the Empowered Women's Circle, and we are so happy to have you in our circle of support. So the legal staff, if you have real concerns about a health or mental health issue, make sure you see your own provider. Absolutely. And just a reminder to return to the homepage. We have been doing this weekly sessions now this is week 6 of our 12-week initial cycle. We're an ongoing women's circle, but we're on week 6. And if you haven't already done so, go back to the homepage and make sure that you've completed the 4 steps. That'll just give you an idea of who we are, what we're about, how we can really be helping each other in this women's circle. So we are an inclusive group that extends acceptance, love, and support to anyone who shows up fully for the elevation of all of us. This week, we are getting crystal clear. A couple of weeks ago, I told you it's go time. It's time to really set an intention. Now, an intention is different than a goal. An intention is something that's the overriding topic area, the overriding theme of what you are wanting to create in your life. Goals are very measured and very specific and very attainable in very small steps, whereas our intention is something that we want to be able to really look toward in order to be able to feel like when we get there, we've achieved what we want to in our life. And I'm asking you in this Empowered Women's Circle to bring your attention to the present and look only a little ways ahead. So this isn't 3, 5, 10-year plan. This is something that I want you to really start thinking about your area of focus that you would like to see and would like to create in your life in the next 6, 12 or 18 months, something that is really doable and really achievable for us, and set that as your intention. So we're going to dig into that quite a bit today. At our recent live event, it's been a really busy week for us. At our recent live event, we did an exercise that really helped us dig into what we most deeply desire and what our soul's actualization needs are. So we're going to do that exercise together today. We're going to have an experience of this. We're going to really get out of our head and into our body. So the truth of the matter is, we can often get sidetracked by thinking, well, I'd like to achieve this, or I'd like to have this in my life. But then we get with the to-dos and the tasks and the steps that have to be accomplished before we can have it. And we basically sabotage ourselves before we even get started. So if we get out of our head and into our body, it becomes possible for us to really hear the message about what is already transforming in our lives. What is ripe to be up-leveled? Where is the energy? In what area of life is it that we are most ready to step into our fullness? Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to get to the other areas. It just means for the purposes of our Empowered Women's Circle, for the purposes of stepping into a new perspective and a new story about our life, we're going to really sink into one area to get us started. So let's do this exercise together. I'd like you to close your eyes and really take a big breath in and out. Sink all your weight down into your hips, down into your legs, into your feet, and into the earth. So we're really sitting heavy now and really going inside our body, trying to get out of our mind all the stresses, all the to-dos, all the overwhelm, all the chaos. We're really sinking into our body now. Set everything aside. And I'm going to ask you some questions as we sit in this deep place. I'm going to ask you to look inside for an inner knowing. What comes up for you when I ask these questions without again, getting too mental about it, too much of a brain process. This is really about the very first things that come up. So as you sit in this place in your body, what are your deepest yearnings and desires? What is it you most deeply desire to experience in your life or in this area of your life? What is it you most deeply desire to express? What is it you most deeply desire to create in your life or in this area of your life? What is it that you most deeply desire to contribute? And so sinking into your body and listening for the answers as I ask the question, what do you most deeply desire to experience? What do you most deeply desire to express? What do you most deeply desire to create? And what do you most deeply desire to contribute? And as you take another cleansing breath, I ask you to grab yourself a pen and paper if you don't already have one, and just jot down what came first. Where was the energy? What was coming to mind? What was really stirring in your body as you sunk into what do you most desire? And we did this exercise at the live event, and I will provide an exercise sheet for you in our resources section. And it really doesn't matter if you've already done this, if you do it a second time or a third time. I do this exercise intermittently a lot. And a lot of times something very different comes up, something that I wasn't expecting, but something that is ripe for transformation for me at that time. And so if you've done this exercise recently and you've done it again and you're getting different messages and different answers, that's okay. But what we're trying to do is get crystal clear on what it is that you most deeply desire. What are your soul's actualization needs? Because you are the co-creator of your life. And we talked about this in previous weeks. We've talked about what is your old story? What is your story of limitation? What is your false belief? Where did it come from? And what have you been carrying with you? And what have you been perpetuating by your underlying beliefs, which lead to thoughts, which lead to emotions, which lead to actions? And of course, when we have actions, there's reactions. And in that way, we tend to create a cycle that ultimately creates our reality. If we respond a certain way to someone, they're very likely to respond a certain way back. If we give love out, we're likely to give it back. If we give out anger, we're likely to get that back. And so what we actually put out into the world is what we often will get back. And it's not a law of attraction thing necessarily. It really is the fact that we are in constant interaction and communication with the world around us. And we've talked about who are you blaming and what are you tolerating and all of those previous exercises. And now that you've actually sat and listened to the message about what is most ready to up level in your life, where are you hearing that it's really time to experience, express, create, and contribute? Where in your life is that? Is it around your health? Is it around weight loss? Is it around getting fit? Is it around sleeping better? Is it around eating better? Or is it maybe around relationships, around family dynamics? Is it around career progression or professional pursuits? Is it around deepening your marriage? There's so many things that may come up for you at this time, and something different may come up for you later. So in this Empowered Women Circle, we're here to support you, and we're going to keep this going such that life will be an upward spiral. And ultimately, our goal is to feel that we're living the very best version of ourselves, and we're bringing our best every day. So by sinking into your deeper yearnings about what you want to create, you are already creating conditions for this to come into your life. Because when you bring it into focus, whatever it is that you're trying to work on or that you're ready to step into, you immediately act differently, make decision points differently, provide your own self-care differently, speak differently, think differently. That immediately starts to happen. And we're here to support you in that process. If any of this needs deeper work for you, this is what I do with women. And it's very much a part of what I can do with you if you need someone to actually walk you personally into those deeper yearnings and how to get out of your false belief and into a deeper truth about your life. So any of your wellness leaders are here to help you and to help you strengthen and deepen in the areas we're focusing on our weekly sessions. And I just say that because if you're thinking, well, I don't really know what I'm doing here, then we are here to help you, and we want to make sure you're getting the most that you can from this process. We're here to support your fullest transformation. So align with these potentials, your soul's actualization needs, because that is what's coming up for you right now. That is what is in season for you right now. This area is ready to change, while other areas of your life may require too much effort. So this is that place that you can focus the most energy, effort, and attention for the biggest transformation. So you can just work on that one aspect of your life with our support in our weekly sessions and in our live sessions. And that will create the biggest and fastest, most rapid transformation in that one area. And that's what I'm most excited about. So I'll give you my example. I'm excited to hear yours, but I'll give you my example. When I started doing this work years and years ago, I really thought I needed a change in my professional life. I thought work wasn't really fulfilling and I needed something different. And when that started to happen, I really sat with that question: what do I most want to experience, express, create, and contribute in this life? And what came up for me was that I really needed to sink into building a deeper, stronger foundation of loving support for my family. And I'll talk more about that as we go along. But it was really prudent for me at that time to realize that sinking my effort and energy into professional pursuits was not where I was ripe to make the biggest transformation. And so I really sunk into self-care and drawing my family together and really leading my family as I felt a good, solid, conscious parent would. And what happened with my family was unbelievable. And again, I'm happy to share more as we go. So we are now moving into for your mind and your body, and we're calling this a week of integration. So really exciting. We're going to give you some time to review, some time to really implement. We all know that when we start changing habit patterns, it becomes really important to make it part of your routine. And that's what we're working on this week. So Marcia brings us information. She says we're at the midway point in our 12-week cycle, and she doesn't want to add nutrition or movement to our call to action, but here is her challenge to you in the upcoming week. This week, combine all the previous calls to action and really make an effort to do them all. So for movement, this means 2 30-minute blocks of time set aside for purposeful movement each week. So this week, we're going to do 2 days, 2 30-minute blocks. And you can, of course, do more if you're ready, but don't do more if you're not. And for nutrition, Marcia says, taking your ID Life vitamins and supplements. And if you haven't yet taken your ID Life health assessment, it's free. It's going to give you tons of information. And make sure that you're eating at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day and staying hydrated. So Marcia recommends before the week starts, say on Sunday, schedule and mark your calendar for at least 2 30-minute blocks of movement for the week. Sunday would also be a good day to go to the store and buy a variety of vegetables and some fruits. Get some old favorites as well as some new ones, but make sure to get a variety of colors and to try new things. Some ideas on how to get some extra vegetables. Well, you can add chopped onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms to your morning eggs to get some veggies in the morning. Try hummus, or ask for her Greek yogurt ranch dip recipe to eat with cut up celery, cucumber, and carrots as a healthy and high protein snack. So just like I was explaining, all of our wellness leaders are here to support you. And it sounds to me like Marcia has some fantastic recipes that she'd like to share. I will do my best to make those available on our resource page, but definitely reach out to Marcia if you'd like more of her information. If you have a spiralizer, and Marcia says she absolutely loves hers and highly recommends them, spiralize some purple cabbage and make cabbage slaw. She has that recipe too. Or spiralize zucchini and squash to make as your pasta on spaghetti night. Also, don't forget about your water. Drink 8 to 16 ounces of water in the morning first thing, as well as 8 ounces 30 minutes prior to each meal. And drink before you snack as well to make sure you're actually hungry. And don't forget to take your vitamins and supplements morning and night, because with ID Life, they take into account what's called chronobiology, making sure that the right nutrients are taken at the right time of day in order to be properly utilized by your body. And I'll give you an example. Omega-3s, for example, need to be taken at night when they can be best used by your liver in order to give you the best effect. So Marcia says the challenge is to do as much of this as many days as possible. So take this week and give it your absolute best shot. And from April, inflammation is bad. So April says if you're experiencing confusion, poor memory, difficulty concentrating, just that feeling of really slow mentation, not being able to make quick decisions, it's possibly inflammation in your body, which quite often will affect your brain. April's call to action is get enough sleep. So at least 8 hours, and at least 2 to 3 of those before midnight. So try to actually go to bed at a decent time. And April says get enough oxygen. In other words, breathe very deeply. So as you breathe in, of course, your belly goes out, because that's what draws your diaphragm down and pulls that oxygen deep into your lungs to give you the best effect. So really deep breathing. And get enough food. April says do not skip meals. When you skip meals, it can impact your blood sugar, and the related effects of those changes in blood sugar can affect your metabolism and your fat storage. So really being careful with those things to reduce inflammation. Now, I'm bringing to you some of the scientific information to back up what April has told us. I thought this might be a good time to augment. Antioxidants are really good. So if there's inflammation, we can use anti-inflammatories and antioxidants. And I want to give you some of the science. Rodents that were fed antioxidant supplemented diet had superior learning and memory compared with rats that didn't have the antioxidants in their diet. They also had less neuronal cell loss. That's the actual matter of the brain, and it was being lost less in the ones that were eating antioxidants. And those rats also had less oxidative damage and inflammation. So it's really a good way for us to see preclinically, because of course we can't dissect people's brains, but we can do that with rats to see what antioxidants are actually really good for in our central nervous system and our brain. So get more vegetables and colorful vegetables. You're going to get most of your antioxidants from those dark colored vegetables and fruits for sure. But I want to also draw your attention to vitamin E as an example, and I can bring in different nutrients as we go through these sessions. But today we're going to talk about vitamin E as a possible treatment for cognitive decline. So in this study that was published in JAMA, patients with mild to moderate Alzheimer's disease, meaning that they were already showing signs of dementia, were given 2,000 units daily, international units of vitamin E, and they had an annual rate of decline in their activities of daily living reduced by 19%. And the investigator said that was clinically meaningful. That was a clinically meaningful delay in their progression. So in other words, it really made a difference for their ability to maintain their independence in their activities of daily living, which is better for them, obviously, and better for their care provider. So it was an example of a reduction in, for example, complete loss of being able to dress or bathe to independently being able to dress or bathe. That was the significance of the difference in some cases. So vitamin E was thought to be really essential to protect the brain from dementia. And of course, I don't want to give you the impression that it's just vitamin E, because vitamin E works along with all the other nutrients, and specifically E and C are very, very linked together. They really help each other out, and I'll get into that more in other sessions. But the type of vitamin E matters. So studies are inconsistent, and vitamin E supplements are traditionally only the alpha tocopherols. You can also get natural or synthetic vitamin E, and obviously the natural ones are better for you. Alpha tocopherol is a potent antioxidant, but gamma tocopherol is an anti-inflammatory. So since we're talking about inflammation, it's important to know that there's 8 different tocopherols, and they all reduce oxidative stress better than just the alpha version alone. So the type of vitamin E really matters. And so I'm going to show you my ID Life Health Assessment. This is one of the most recent ones that I have. And I want to draw your attention to your own ID Life Health Assessment. You can look up all of the nutrients in your personalized recommendations. This information is all free to you. Vitamin E in the form of mixed tocopherol is what's coming in the ID Life regime. And I also want to draw your attention to the fact that for mine, it's only 11 international units, 36% of recommended daily allowance. You'll see that over on the side. And that's because of what I put in with my health history and with my diet and lifestyle history. So vitamin E, for example, is a fat-soluble vitamin. It will accumulate if you get too much of it. And so the recommendation for me was just to have about 36%, because very likely, based on my history, I was getting a lot already from my diet. So if you went and grabbed a multivitamin, for example, or even a vitamin E bottle of vitamin E supplements, it's not customized according to what you're putting into your health history. And therefore, you might be getting too much, you might be not getting enough, and as we've seen, you might be getting the wrong forms of vitamin E. While I'm here, I want to also draw your attention to the folate, which is a methylated form, and the B12, also methylated forms of B vitamins. And so those are much better metabolized and absorbed, so they can be more bioavailable. And most places, most companies don't have those methylated forms in their supplements, so I just wanted you to be aware of that while I'm showing you my assessment. And ID Life uses bioactive fillers. So a lot of times you'll find fillers in supplements, and ID Life uses curcumin, quercetin, green tea extract, a lot of these potent antioxidants just as fillers within the supplement regime, just because they give you added benefits. CoQ10, a potent antioxidant, N-acetylcysteine. A lot of people are taking these separately, and they're coming in your regime, but you know you're getting them in safe, studied dosages. For example, if people are on statins for high cholesterol, they're going to be deficient in CoQ10, and the dose of that will go up considerably when they put statin into their health history in the ID Life assessment. If they put that they're taking a medication that's going to create a deficiency of CoQ10, the assessment is going to make sure that they will get enough in the safe and scientifically studied dosages. N-acetylcysteine, again, a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. And alpha-lipoic acid has some real new literature around diabetics, diabetic neuropathy, and also brain protection. So these are nutrients that you could probably buy separately, but it would be really hard to know about the interactions. It would be really hard to know how much you should get personally according to your health history, and it would be really hard to get them in those really high quality forms. We know with fish oils, DHA and EPA are the really potent, important, most natural forms of fish oils to get as well. And my regime has some turmeric in it. Yours probably does too. You should check for that. And not only do I want you to see in your regime what you are getting, but I also want to see what you're not. I want you to see what you're not getting. So if you look at the bottle of ingredients of some of the supplements over the counter, you're going to see fillers, you might see aluminum, you might see preservatives. I want you to be aware that with the ID Life regime, you're really not getting any of those ingredients that would be detrimental to your health. So even the other ingredients, the inactive ingredients, are also very safe and well thought out. So if you have any questions about your ID Life Health Assessment, contact one of your wellness leaders. We are happy to walk you through that. And how do you stay connected with us? Well, hopefully you figured that out by now. We're on week 6, but we want to make sure you're getting to see this weekly content. So keep coming back here every week. We have a Facebook group page called the Empowered Women's Circle, and we'd love it if you'd connect with us there. And our next live event, of course, will come to your inbox. I'm going to be sending emails out about that very, very soon. And we haven't yet started, but we're so excited about starting some family walks or dog walks or some exercise in the park. And just watch your inbox, because any time we can think of to get us all together in community where we can have our women's circle and we can see each other face to face and dialogue about our challenges and our obstacles and our successes and celebrate together, then we're going to do that. So keep watching for things that we're doing together, because you're part of an Empowered Women's Circle. You're part of our wellness movement. So until next time, let your light shine, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.